the Mercer head coach.
Well, Coach Hoffman, just had a talk with your team. What did you tell them so that they are not the team that almost upset Duke, but they can finish this out and become the team that upset Duke?
Just keep believing in each other, sticking to our principles, know what we're trying to do. They've hit a bunch of threes. They may hit them the second half. We're going to shake their hands and say good luck to them. But I don't think they're going to hit that many second half. We got to get on the boards because a lot of those threes are coming from kickouts, and we can't let that happen the second half.
Thank you.
Duke is out rebounding Mercer by 9 overall, Lenny, in that first half.
Yeah, but Mercer's doing a good job in the paint. They're winning that battle 10 points to 6. And a lot of the problem has to do for Duke with the lack of communication.
It's caught your eye, Reg.
Well, Duke is a plus 15 from beyond the arc, a plus 10 in offensive rebounding, but Mercer's only down 1. Why? They shot 52% and they're a plus 6 in free throws.
Again, when we talk about defending the paint, Mike Krzyzewski told us that it's a lack of communication. See the screen right there. You look at the pointing. Jabari Parker saying, grab that guy right there. But it's too late. No help side, no communication. That means points in the paint against Duke.
Mercer is the Atlantic Sun Tournament champion, the number 14 seed, and the first time they have been in the tournament since 1985. Duke is playing in the 19th consecutive NCAA. Parker. Outside. Big hit. Quinn Cook to get things going. Cook has got 11. He averages 11 a game.
And that's exactly how Duke started the first half, knocking down threes. Cook getting this second half off to a good start. Their 9th made 3 today.
And it finally goes in with Corsi now with 8. We apologize for the audio problems.
Tell you what, nice move, nice hands down low by Corsi. Not only to catch that basketball, but to come down with the proper footwork, feel the contact, and still be able to convert.
That's a treble as Jefferson was going through the lane. Let's now take a look at Behind the Stats presented by LG.
Now it's up to 12 points in the paint with Corsi knocking down that first bucket here of the second half. But something going forward as you look at Mercer, and Lynn, you talked about this, that size really disrupts Duke. I'm looking at Monty Brown in the first half. Remember, he was the young man that took that hit to the head. He came out and didn't even warm up with the Mercer Bears. He has a couple earplugs in his ears. I think he's going through that concussion phase right now. I don't think we'll see him in the second half. So we should get a heavy dose of Daniel Corsi in the second half.
Hall with a 3. Langston Hall, Atlantic Sun Player of the Year. He's got 8. He averages just under 15 a game.
Boy, you talk about ball movement, unselfish play. That one play epitomizes what Mercer's trying to do and what they're all about.
Cook and Hood. Suleiman hit 2 early threes. As they fight inside. Clutched on to by Thomas, and moments ago Hall beat the clock.
Well, it really was all about Gowland's drive to the baseline, the pass outside to a wide open shooter. Look how quickly Duke is going to close. But again, that one extra pass, the guy who was on Hall closed, and then they found Hall wide open.
Suleiman gets it off. Jefferson caught and traveled as Gowan moments ago picked up the foul, and Jefferson has the turnover.
Back-to-back walk-in there by Emil Jefferson. Just a little bit too much of a rush to get to the basket. He's going to have to slow down when he gets that ball in that paint area.
And speaking of rush, Duke can't get Hall to rush. He's taking his time. He's handling the ball nicely.
Corsi from Langston.
And delivering the mail on time.
7-0 run for Mercer.
And it's all started with Daniel Corsi and his ability to control the paint area. Something that's been the downfall for Duke all season.
Cook the triple.
And Lynn, they're going to what you said. They're starting to get 3 happy. We heard Charles at halftime say you live and die by that 3-point shot.
Parker was pushed inside for Duke, and the foul will go on Corsi for the second time.
And Lynn, you can appreciate this. Good footwork down low for a big man. When you get good position down low and you got good hands, it's always a good recipe, especially for big men as talented as Daniel Corsi.
Here's the ACC's second leading scorer, who averages 19 a game, Jabari Parker, but has 8. He's the #1 leading rebounder, Lenny, in the ACC with 9 rebounds a game, and Parker has grabbed 5.
And Reggie, going back to what you said, yeah, I appreciate the footwork, but even more so, I appreciate the penetration, drawing all the defenders, making an easier shot.
And it needs to be stated right now, Jabari Parker, Rodney Hood, a combined 4 of 15 from the field. The 2 leading scorers for Duke.
Back and forth it goes. Garland comes up with it in a Duke straitjacket of defense, and a foul on Duke and Parker, #2.
This is one of the elements of an upset. The underdog getting to the 50-50 balls.
Good point.
Mercer jumping on it right away and draw the foul, but that ball was up for grabs, and Mercer right now putting forth the effort.
Wamu is checked in. Thomas will take a breather for the Bears.
And another thing to watch in this building as this game goes forward and it stays close. Remember, we got Tennessee and UMass up next. And the crowd is going to start to change because they always cheer for the underdog.
Shake Collin wheeling in. He's got 7 points. He averages 8 a game.
So the orange is indistinguishable, huh?
Absolutely. Between Gollum and you've got Ike Wamu off the bench from Mercer, contributing offensively.
Mercer has hit all 4 of their shots to open up the second half. Cook on top. Duke has started the second half 1 of 4. It's Parker in his way. That's an offensive foul. In his way, Anthony White Jr. Parker's got 3.
What a great defensive decision there by Anthony White Jr. Look at Parker here as he picks up his third foul. That's what you call taking the charge in the chest.
Full front. And that's the case with Jabari Parker of an outstanding player trying to do too much.
This is huge. You got Parker on the bench, only 9 points, 2 of 8 from the field, but 3 fouls.
Wamu, Gowan, under 16 to play.
Well, maybe this will light a fire under Hood offensively to kind of get him going with Parker on the bench.
Well, but that's the problem with a young team. Jabari Parker, as great as he is, he's a freshman, and they go down 3, and he feels like he's got to do it by himself.
Jefferson picks up his second for Duke. Coming out on fire. 4 of 4 shooting for Mercer, the 14th seed against Duke. Mercer on a 9-2 run to Rachel.
Well, guys, how do you get an underdog team to actually believe that they can slay a powerhouse like Duke? Mercer's Bob Hoffman told me last night he did the usual coach's trick, showing his players lots of highlight clips of them making shots. Just give them that visual confidence of the ball going into the basket. But then in his pregame speech today, he told them, quote, "None of you are going to be the best player on the floor, but you can be the best team on the floor." And he told the guys that is enough to win.
That's exactly what Mike Krzyzewski told his Duke team because of the senior leadership of Mercer.
Yeah, both valid comments. And right now, Mercer, I don't think Bob Hoffman has to tell him anything anymore. They're in this game to stay.
There's Bob Hoffman, who began his career as an 8th grade coach. He was elevated then to the women's team as a head coach at Southern Nazarene. He played his college basketball at Oklahoma Baptist. He's in his 6th year. And he is a firecracker, and he has been terrific for this Mercer program.
Out of all 8 practices that all 3 of us viewed yesterday, to me, his was the most spirited. And they really went through the workout like they were preparing. Like a lot of teams just go through it because they don't want to give anything away for the game the next day. These guys were going hard in preparation of Duke.
Cook had picked up his foul moments ago for Duke, and a drive inside. There is another Duke foul with a hard drive taken inside. Gowan was the one taking it, and 15:27 to play in the second half. Jefferson, Lenny just picked up his 3rd for Duke.
Yeah, and that's tough because Emil Jefferson has done a yeoman's job on the boards. 10 rebounds, including 6 offensive rebounds. But Mercer feeling more and more confident.
Ballin at the line. First round coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championships begin tomorrow 11 a.m. on ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPN3. And for more information, game times and listings, go to ncaa.com.
To finish that point, Mercer more and more confident because they now are being aggressive to the basket. They're not settling for jumper.
Jefferson remains in with the 3 fouls. Suleiman, he bumps into the defense. Mercer's on an 11-2 run right now. Biggest lead of the game.
And how about Mercer now starting to get to those and close to those three-point shooters as Thornton knocks down a long range, the 10th of the day for Duke.
It's a takeaway. Thornton on the wing. Gomez with Gallon in the rebound. Hounded by Suleiman. It's loose and Suleiman has pickpocketed him. The drive, the congestion, and the foul.
Well, where is Duke getting it done now? At the defensive end, especially with Jabari Parker on the bench with those 3 fouls. It's been all about the guards and their activity at the defensive end.
Corsi picks up his 3rd.
Well, you give Anthony White Jr. a lot of credit with the defense, but Duke, I talked about it a bit ago. They weren't getting to the 50-50 balls. They must have heard me, man, because they're going after with a vengeance. Outstanding chasing down that ball and getting an opportunity at the line.
And this with Parker, Reg, on the bench.
Yeah, Suleiman has been fantastic, though, offensively. And it really started with those 4 made threes in the first half. I think his activity really at both ends, especially the defensive end, has really been huge for Coach K.
Bud Thomas and Darius Morton come back in for the Mercer Bears. School located in Macon, Georgia. They won the Atlantic Sun Tournament. They're 26-8, 14th seed.
And just like that, a 5-0 run for Duke to tie this ball game.
Even the man-to-man pressure doesn't seem to phase Hall a bit.
Percy on the doorstep. Wamu collects it, offensive rebound. Screened by Corsi, knocked out Hood, doubled his Wamu. Langston Hall slithers and feeds.
Ooh, that was blocked by Emil Jefferson. Nice recovery there.
Suleiman the other way. Game's 6th tie.
See if they can get Rodney Hood going offensively.
Hood into Moten. And that is a foul. And it is called on Darius Moten Jr. and he picks up number 1.
Well, you hope that you don't go back if you're Mercer and look at these 2 shots and realize that these opportunities, might have cost you the ball game, but 2 point-blank opportunities at the basket, 1 block, 1 miss. You just can't afford that.
Foul issues right there for Duke.
Here's a question for Coach K. When do you bring back Jabari Parker with those 3 fouls?
T.J. Hallis has just come in from Mercer. Knocked that ball away right there. From Philadelphia, Emil Jefferson. It is picked up by Jibri Bryan. He's got 3 rebounds.
And now with Hall and Anthony White Jr. on the bench for Mercer, who steps up offensively?
Moten the 3. Jefferson the rebound. He's in double figures now, Lenny, and that's a good sign for Duke.
That's right, Duke 7-0 when Emil Jefferson is in double-figure rebounds.
You see the shooting. Approaching 13 to play. A 2, Cook. They get a 3.
That was an NBA 3 there, Kev. Cook, Suleiman getting it going from downtown for the Duke Blue Devils, and it looks like Jabari Parker at the scorer's table. That's a lot of trust for a freshman from Coach K.
8-0 run right now for Duke.
Here's where senior experience has to pay off, and that's an answer right there.
And now they're going to their 2-3 zone. Remember in the first half, Duke really shot them out of that 2-3 zone. Maybe some adjustments at halftime by Coach Hoffman to talk out where the shooters are.
Rodney Hood, a dynamic passer and shooter in this zone, right at the sweet spot.
And we know that they're used to seeing zone going twice against Syracuse in their conference. Travel there by Cook.
Cook with the treble. A turnover for Duke. They've got 8 so far in the game. It's a 1-point game.
And 2 efficient teams offensively. The long 3 here by Cook at one end to put Duke up 3, and Moten off the bench knocking down the 18-footer.
Jabari Parker just comes in for Duke, taking the place of Emil Jefferson. Mercer shooting over 60% from the floor in the second half. Duke at 37% in the second half. Dallas down low. Parker defending.
See the problem on the floor without Daniel Corsi, and we talked about Brown probably not playing in the second half. Where are you going to get those inside points, those bunnies from?
Well, first of all, you know, they can't be afraid of the size of Duke. That was a rush job instead of sizing up the defender, putting a little arc on the ball. It was just a contest to see how quickly you can get it up there, and that's not going to work.
Hood into Harris with a Mercer foul. 11:45 to go here in the second half. Last time Mercer was in the tournament, 1985. This group has done him well. Dallas picks up his first, and Mercer is down by 1.
Underneath him, Lynn.
Yeah, Jabari Parker may be the story of inexperience, but the story of experience is Mercer. This is what makes mid-major teams, so-called mid-major teams, so tough, because they have seniors on that team. Prior to that last Mercer bucket, Duke was on an 8-0 run, but they found a way to go time and score, work to get a good shot, and kind of stem that tide.
Wamu picks up the foul as Suleiman hits the deck. Mercer right now in the midst of their first cold streak of the game. They haven't scored in about 4 minutes from the field. It's Parker over Corsi and another miss. You're talking about patience at Duke earlier on, Lenny.
Yeah, and that's the point that I made with Mercer. They took the patience to come down and really work to get a good shot in the midst of that 8-0 Duke run.
Corsi.
There's the inside points by Kersey. That low post threat. Coach Hoffman does a good job of putting his best low post player down. Now they're down to that 2-3 zone. Careful of those corners of Suleiman and Cook knocking down threes.
Points in the paint, 16-6 in favor of Mercer with a Duke turnover right there. It is number 9 for them. Duke only 6 points, Lenny, in the paint all game long.
Yeah, well, you know, you recognize the size of Mercer has bothered them, but the opportunities they've had from beyond the arc have been too good to pass up.
White, the double team Corsi. Parker on it. Rebound by Hood.
He turned the wrong way.
Had him baseline.
Yeah,
he had him baseline.
Clear.
Hood, Suleiman.
Why not? Why not? His 5th made 3 today. Offensively, with the struggles of Rodney Hood, Jabari Parker has been all Rashid Suleiman.
He's got 17, 14 for Cook, 12 for Corsi, leading Mercer inside. Beautiful floater by Langston Hall.
And that's what I'm talking about. The seniors don't back down. Duke is really putting on a show from beyond the arc, particularly Rashid Suleiman. But of late, Mercer has an answer, and they're doing it methodically, and then they're doing it with poise.
All sticking with Suleiman. They sneaking inside the double team Parker. Hood.
Oh, that's tough. But once again, good hustle to get that second chance. And Duke has been living off a second chance opportunity.
They have not shot the ball at all particularly well from the field. But what they have done is, because of these offensive rebounds and second shot opportunities, that's what's kept them alive in this game.
Duke with 15 offensive rebounds. Cook with the dance. Hood with the move. Cook will cock and fire from 3.
Cover the shooter, because now you got a wide open Rashid Suleiman with no challenge. And again, the help is coming from the wrong guys. Once that help comes from that side, they're finding the open man with the extra pass, Duke is, and you just cannot leave their shooters beyond the arc without a challenge.
Quinn Cook, 5 threes, new career high for him. He's got 17. Rashid Suleiman's got 17, 2 in double figures for Mercer.
Duke plus 27 from beyond the arc, and yet you're only up 3.
Wamu, lot of traffic, under 9 to play. Rotating, Collins, 3 off Cook with the rebound. Duke has made 13 threes today, 26 launched.
But again, despite just a 3-point deficit, Mercer's got to be careful. They're in danger territory as Hood misses that shot, because Duke has gone on a roll once before, an 8-0 run, and they are capable of doing it again unless you come down, make a stop, and then on your end, utilizing time and score, work to get a bucket.
If you would have told me that Duke, Jabari Parker, Hood combined 4 of 19 in an NCAA game, I would have told you they would have been down by double digits. Give a lot of credit to Cook and Suleiman.
Here comes Duke the other way. They're 4 of 20, Lenny. Duke is 4 of 20 on 2-point tries this afternoon.
Yeah, they haven't taken very many of them, and most of them have been point blank under the basket, and Corsi, the Atlantic Sun Defensive Player of the Year, has been there.
Suleiman fanning right there.
And speaking of him, you got to get the ball down low to Percy, especially with Emil Jefferson guarding him.
Right, and he doesn't have to shoot it. He just has
Make
to
him
touch
collapse,
it.
yes.
Make the defense shift.
Gowan. Got it.
And one.
Nice play there by Gollin, but I'm going to tell you what made that move was Daniel Corsi and his ability to seal Emil Jefferson down low. Nice concentration there by Gollin, going to the free throw line, try to tie it up.
My name is Johnny Williams, and my dream was to have a beer with my friends at America's highest bar. Shock Top made it happen.
A life full of flavor deserves a beer full of flavor. Shock Top, Belgian-style unfiltered wheat. Live life unfiltered.
He's strong, fast, had a metal arm.
When do we start?
We just did. Now, it's personal.
Rated PG-13 in theaters April 4th.
So, dude, what is this you're listening to? You need to pump up some jams. Come on, it's Friday. It's time to get this party started. Wow, MJ in the house.
Now all Hanes underwear is tagless. Go tagless.
With AT&T's new pricing for families, you get 4 lines on AT&T's network, including unlimited talk, unlimited text, and 10 gigs of data to share.
10 gigs?
10 gigs, all for $160 a month.
You know, I think our family really needed this. It's really gonna bring us closer together.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep.
Introducing our best ever family pricing. For instance, a family of 4 gets 10 gigs of data with unlimited talk and text for $160 a month. Only from AT&T.
This is the Quicksilver Cashback Card from Capital One. It's not the limit your hard-earned cashback card. It's not the confused by rotating categories card. It's the no category gaming, no look passing, clear the lane, I'm going up strong, backboard breaking cashback card. This is the Quicksilver Cashback Card from Capital One. Unlimited 1.5% cashback on every purchase every single day. I'll ask again. What's in your wallet?
Kevin, Lenny, Reggie.
And former Blue Devil, Johnny Dawkins, coaching that Stanford team. That winner will take on Kansas, Eastern Kentucky. With a look at the numbers here in Raleigh. The game summary with Duke on top.
We're going to take a look at the thing that's eye-catching is 0 second chance points from Mercer to Duke's 20. And I tell you guys, I cannot remember a game where a team won the game and getting 0 second chance points.
Well, they have a shot, and the reason why is they're shooting 53% from the field to 35% for Duke. Now, they're getting killed on the offensive glass and rebounding as a whole, but they're a +5 from their free throw line, so they're being efficient offensively, but they've got to be able to shore up the rebounding.
With the midst of our 8th tie, here comes Suleiman around the Hood screen. Cook, Parker down low, Thornton outside. That's the Blue Devil 5. Approaching 7 to play in the second half. Hood, the Mississippi State transfer. Cook, the 3.
They are too far off the shooters of Duke. I know Hall is out there trying to help against Rodney Hood, but you've got to be at least an arm length away from the defender.
Cook has knocked down 6 threes.
Well, look at the range those guys have.
Parker watching Corsi.
Oh, you got to make it.
What a pickup there by Anthony White.
First, second chance opportunity.
Just out
made.
And the degree of difficulty there by White Jr. That left-hand tap in.
So now if Mercer wants to win this game, they can go on and win now. They got their second chance point.
Hood, the 3. Rebound by Langston Hall.
14 of 30 Duke is from beyond the arc. Now remember, their season high is 15 at Syracuse this season.
And boy, at that game, you thought it was raining threes.
Here comes Garland, and nobody got in his way.
Oh, that was a sweet layoff right there. Got him full speed to the basket.
Garland's got 14, he averages 8. Jabari Parker. Count it.
That, folks, was determination. Watch Parker on the drive. He made up his mind. I'm taking this. He goes, yeah, he comes up short, but he was not to be denied.
Corsi just picked up his 4th, and Reggie touched on this earlier. He'll now check out. Hallis will come in, but with Monty Brown out as senior because of not passing the concussion protocol for Mercer, that really affects the way this Mercer team is when they've got to go now to the 3rd string guy, their big man inside.
And Hallis cannot be a deer in headlights out here under the biggest lights and the biggest stage. And he's going against the freshman player of the year in Jabari Parker.
Hallis just has to play his role, set screens, get to the weak side, and battle for offensive rebounds on the offensive end.
High screen here, switch on the D. Hall, Bud Thomas, Hallis, nice pass, Garland. Looked like he got hit on the hand. Here comes Duke. We're approaching 5 to play.
It was the hesitation. If Garland would have went up immediately, I thought he could have gotten the foul on Jabari Parker, but he hesitated.
Hood the screen, opens the door. That's a 3. Thornton was fouled. Wamu picks it up. That means 3 at the stripe for Duke.
I'll tell you what, Wamu played this smartly now. You take a look, he comes over and helps, but then when he goes back to his man, which was Thornton, he makes body contact.
And you've got to allow the offensive player a chance to come down. Verticality, he goes straight up. Wamu goes right into his chest.
Tuesday on CBS, TV's biggest show is On the Case in New Orleans with guest star Scott Bakula. All new NCIS Tuesday at 8/7 Central. Only CBS. Tyler Thornton at the line, the former Washington, D.C. High School Player of the Year, went to Gonzaga High School. He is a senior.
I like the move here by Coach Hoffman. He's not waiting, understanding every game is sudden death for the Mercer Bears. He gets Daniel Corsi right back in the game with those 4 fouls. Now you have to play smart.
Lenny Duke has made their last 12 consecutive free throws.
Well, you would expect that. They're one of the finest free throw shooting teams in the country, particularly down the stretch.
Corsi got it. Doubled. What a shot. 4.5 to go.
The iron kind for Daniel Corsi.
We're going to wipe some moisture off the floor at the other end.
How about the hands by Daniel Corsi on the roll here in this screen and roll. 2 white jerseys. Now a 3rd comes around. That nice jump hook over his right shoulder. His bread and butter shot.
Corsi averages 10, Lenny, and he's got 14 for the Bears today.
Well, particularly on that shot, sometimes it's better to be lucky than to be good.
Now they're going offense for defense for Daniel Corsi. Hallis back on the floor defensively. So Corsi is not in jeopardy of picking up his 5th.
Yeah, good move by Bob Hoffman. But who's going to guard Jabari Parker? Horsey, the Atlantic Sun Defensive Player of the Year. They lose a lot.
Oh, my goodness. Hood just threw it away.
Again, 5 of 22 between Parker and Hood. Miscommunication here between Hood and Thornton. Thornton was acting like he was going to go back door for the back cut. He had Thomas leaning.
Horsey back in for the Bears.
And if you're going to put Horsey back in with 4 fouls in this offense-defense switch, you better use him.
Hall, who averages 15, and he's got 10. Cook is on him.
Had him down low then. They missed him.
Gowan, Suleiman is on him. Cook watching Hall. Rebound Hood. And he's got 5 rebounds for the Devils.
Now if you're Duke, have to be patient offensively. What you have in your hip pocket is Rodney Hood, who has struggled offensively with Parker on the bench now for Duke.
3.5 to go.
Good defense right there. Hall kept Cook away from the basket despite the penetration. Now you got to get up on the shooter.
Shot clock at 5. Suleiman defended by Thomas. The 3. Missed it all. Sails out of bounds. It's a matchup with the 3 seed and the 14 from Raleigh. Duke by 3 on CBS. Mercer in the second half, 52% from the floor. Duke 35% from the floor. Look at Mike Krzyzewski. The Blue Devils have been the victim of a couple of recent early round upsets in the tournament. 2007 in Buffalo, Eric Maynard with a jumper, an 11 seed, knocking off the 6-seeded Duke Blue Devils. That was VCU, and then 2 years ago, Duke again fell in the first game as they lost to the 15th seed Lehigh, 75-70 in Greensboro.
Tell you what, this offensive possession here is huge for the Mercer Bears. He's done a good job of trying to get the ball down low to Daniel Corsi. I would love to see a high screen and roll with him and Hall kind of get active at the offensive end.
Gowan picked up by Hood. White picked up by Thornton. Switching on defense is Duke. White. Hall. Corsi the screen. He'll drive inside. It's a 3 for the tie.
The pride of Pike High School in Indianapolis. Anthony White Jr. just ties the ball game. 44 made threes on the season.
He's authored a couple of triples today for the Mercer Bears. This 3 right here ties it in Raleigh on CBS.
Being able to step up. Remember, well over 100 games, these guys have played together. I like them getting the ball to Corsi. They have no one to answer him down low.
And he's trying to set up nicely. That looked like a trick. Yes, it was.
Picks up the foul. Hood is assessed his 4th for the Blue Devils.
Well, Reggie, you were right. You can tell Corsi set up low right there, and you see the trip. Not necessarily on purpose, inadvertent, because Hood goes down and Gollum trips over him, but nevertheless, it's still a foul automatically.
We had a long talk with Coach K yesterday, and he says the only problem with us is we're young, and sometimes we get a little nervous.
Here's a little change for Coach Hoffman. With Gollum going to the free throw line, normally it was Hallis going to be at the defensive end, but he comes back with Darius Moten instead. Taken down in size, but a little bit more tougher at the defensive end for the Mercer Bears.
Gowan from the free throw line, and all this half run, he has gone 4 of 4 for Mercer.
Yeah, he's been a guy that's found a way to get to the basket, and his teammates have found him. Once again, it's that experience, knowing how to get open and when to get open.
Mercer trailed 63-58. They've gone on a 7-0 run, leading by 2.
You got Moten on Hood. You got Gollum on Jabari Parker.
Hood.
Oh, good D, good D.
Travel. Hood. Turnover.
And that's why Bob Holtman inserted Darius Moten instead of Hallis at the defensive end to go against Rodney Hood.
Look at the strength.
There's no way Hallis was going to be able to stay with Rodney Hood. Great coaching decision by Coach Hoffman.
You like when they make the coach look good, right? Moten did an excellent job. His upper body strength was the difference. It was something that Hallis didn't have.
Jefferson for Parker.
And now with the dead ball situation, you get a chance to put Coursey back at the offensive end.
Duke has not hit from the field in 4.5 minutes. And here comes Mercer with the 2-point lead.
He's wide open downstairs. If you're Thomas, you've got to look at the basket.
But Thomas, recognizing his limitations, probably said, let me get it back to Hall.
Hall, one pass. Coursey!
Oh, my man.
Hood is gone, fouling out with 5.
Thomas made the right decision. Get it to Hall, and Hall gets it to Coursey. Nice, threading the needle. Excellent hands by Coursey. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, here we go. What do you want if you're a team? Do you want experience, a team that has 7 seniors that's played well over 120 games together? Or do you want the 5-star recruits, which Duke has, and a younger team in freshmen and sophomores? Right now, the experience is starting to rise up, Lynn.
I was going to say, that had to be a rhetorical question. Well, you know my answer.
Mercer is on a 9-0 run.
Still plenty of time, 1 minute and 7 seconds. And the way Duke shoots threes, they're never out of it.
Made 14 of 33 today.
Mercer's got their biggest lead and approaching a minute to play.
Rashid Suleiman has 5 of them.
Andre Dawkins is checked in for Duke. He's got it. Number 1 3-point shooter, ACC. Rebound by Moten.
And
off the Hall.
Moten has been huge off the bench in a span of a minute.
Take a look right here. Thomas gives it to Hall, and as the help moved over to try to prevent Hall's penetration, Coursey found the seam, and Hall found him.
Goes to show you, when you play hard, you play together. Not to say that Duke doesn't do that, but when you have juniors and seniors that play together with one another, anything is possible.
Yeah, the deciding factor was judgment.
What a huge move by Rashid Suleiman, who's been the one defining offensive threat all day.
And that ends an 11-0 run by Mercer.
And right there, the bump, still squared shoulders. You know, that's determination as well. He can make this a one-possession ball game, 46 seconds. With the numbers up there, Duke could get the final shot if they can make a stop.
Cook with 20, Suleiman with 19, 3, 4 in double figures for Mercer.
And it's not like the Duke pressure has not turned over the Mercer Bears.
Oh, on the breakaway, White.
Oh, no. Lack of communication.
How about the pass there by Thomas out of bounds?
Suleiman. Rebound by White. Fouled on the play by Matt Jones. Watch the inbound.
This is a team that has done this several times before. We talked about all the seniors on this Mercer Bears team. A great pass by Thomas. Not even a dribble here by White Jr. Just picks it right off the deck for the easy 2.
It's just like in football. Cornerbacks can't get up and press unless you know the safety's behind you. There's no free safety back there. And Suleiman was toast.
Anthony White Jr. at the line. 81% free throw shooter. Moten back in for Coursey. There goes Jefferson. And there goes Jones. Dawkins back in.
Well, what did Coach K tell us? The one thing all year that has been a constant theme for his team, lack of communication. Right. And that's freshmen and sophomores that don't talk a lot.
15-3 Mercer run. Half minute to go.
Challenge, but don't foul.
Parker. And a timeout, Duke. And a 5-point game. 29.9 to play.